Hey guys. Hey friends. What's up, family? Listen, happy Wednesday to you. Let's get into this solar magic candle quickly that my friend Meg made. I am still dog sitting, which also includes my dogs. So, look, we gonna roll with it. Is very possible that I may have to correct the doggies, but we'll see. Please excuse me if I turn around and speak to my dog friends. But listen, how are you doing? What do we want to do? Do we want to smudge spirit? Again, let this sphere, this amethyst geode, we've got some quartz in there too, a little bit of smoky on the edges, is very beautiful, right? I think it's kind of helpful to focus on amethyst, to be honest, with the energy that continues to unfold in Cancer season. To just kind of, it's like return to a peaceful state of mind and understand. Remember how in the previous video we kept talking about things going in waves, pushing in, pulling out, in this type of motion. Now I'm hearing Spirit is kind of bringing through this whole, waves are everything, you know? Waves are sound, waves are frequency, waves are energetics, waves are, it's like tides to everything type of message. Amethyst is great, by the way. Amethyst is kind of like one of those multi-hitters, especially if you've got any amethyst that, has like, I think this is a super 7, but amethyst kind of combines a lot into one oftentimes. It depends on the piece that you have, but the clear quartz in there, the amethyst, a lot of those pieces, you know what I'm saying? Amethyst will probably be a great tool right now to use, and you can safely put it into water. You can safely do a lot of things with it, and it can be very present and helpful in any type of meditation or ritual. So I love that amethyst sphere. I mean, do you see her though? But I love that amethyst is kind of, maybe that's a message that I'm repeating about amethyst so many times. Feel free to Google and check it out. I used to have these gemstone geo cards, but to be honest with you, I have no idea where they are right now. I almost wish I could pull it and read it for you. But yeah, I'm just checking in with you guys. What do we, I feel like we are beginning, I should not say beginning, today's the 10th, right? We're continuing our oppositions to Pluto. I feel like Venus is kind of highlighted right now. Venus energy, which will really not shift into, I think we'll shift Venus into Leo tomorrow. And I really look forward to that. It's going to be very beautiful. We do not have a Venus retrograde, which is quite fortuitous. Maybe we'll kind of dig in. I've had a lot of astrology bookings, so I'm not going to lie. I didn't really like some sessions. I'll just very specifically be called to placement. So I'll kind of sit down beforehand and just say, okay, Spirit, is there anything that I need to see? I'm going to stare at the charts and a lot will come through. Look, I hope you all, as with myself, have been erring on the side of just less is more, okay? We're in a very water-ruled, very intuitive time. There you go. Get you some lavender smudge. Right? It's a very watery, it's a very intuitive, it's a very self-nurturing, it's a very cocooning time. And I can't stress to you enough. I feel like somebody's like, trust me, you've been stressing it. Good, child, good. Because listen, we've got to, we have to, I don't know, it's like letting the water do what it needs to do with us. And I'm always brought back to that image of like, it's like the hangman, how we keep saying you need to be dunked. You need to go one more dunk. And it's almost, now Spirit is showing me this image. And this somehow I feel the message of self-worth in there. It's almost like while Spirit is, my guides and ancestors are kind of laughing. They're like, if you want to soften the image, although they want to make it clear that some people need to repeatedly, literally, maybe forcibly be dunked. Okay? Forced baptism. You know, listen, they're like, if you, let me lean back. I know I have a tendency to shake this camera a lot because I love to kind of like post up on my elbows when I chit chat with you guys and channel. Someone out there probably said, that's not good for your posture. All right. I feel it. Spirit was like, if you want to soften the image, maybe you could just picture that you keep choosing to, I'm seeing the hangman, but I'm seeing this image of someone like diving into a river. I'm hearing like, it's like a cold bath intentionally, or like, I'm going to go and stand back under the waterfall. It's this type of feeling, you know, but then I'm also seeing this image of like, and it's interesting that we were chatting about Venus, because Venus, again, it's about self-worth. It's about how you value yourself, your journey, your healing, your purpose, you know, all these things. Because this person trying to immerse themselves repeatedly in this watery process, Spirit, I hear it like this. They keep kind of, it's like I stick my head, when I come up for air, I'm looking around, what's everybody else doing? Or is so-and-so okay? And Spirit's like, no. And then they're dunking you again. And it's just like, you don't get it. It's this type of energy. Or like you're backing into the waterfall one more time and you're vibing and you're like, yes. But then you come out and you keep looking around and Spirit, it's like a hand comes down and pushes you back into the waterfall. And maybe this is that opposing Pluto and Aquarius energy. Now we will have, like I said, Venus coming up. The moon just did the opposition with Pluto. Venus going to do that opposition with Pluto. But we do have trines. We have beautiful, you know, Venus and Cancer trined Neptune. We've got trines with the moon, with Lilith. I mean, okay, so, but it is interesting. Again, maybe we'll kind of hone in that focus for a topic on Friday, because I do want to explain to you how it's very fortuitous, it's very beautiful and well timed as we get ready to get closer to Leo season, right? That Venus is actually not going to retrograde. So I look forward to, yeah, maybe we'll dig more into that on Friday, because I want to keep this a little bit more on the short and sweet side. I am doing, and I'm gratefully and I'm thankfully doing, I need to update the website, you guys, because I'm offering a special pricing on a very specific reading. You guys, I'm terrible about the website. And I'm still trying to get everything set up on the shop end so that we can have a shop going on over there. But yeah, I'm doing a Saturn and Jupiter placements and aspects offering at a great rate for the rest of July. Whoa. What was that, you guys? These cards just plopped right out on the table. Ooh, nuh-uh. Listen. What I was holding in the intention of my mind. Hold on, you guys. I'm going to grab water. I'm going to pause you, and I'm not going to be able to sit here and go on and on without my water. 1 second. Hold on, you guys. All right, guys. Sorry about that. What were we saying? Oh, I was saying how in my mind, I really wanted, I was very focused on Mercury in Leo. You know, you'll often notice in the rotation of how the planets move, Mercury, we've mentioned before, is kind of the forerunner. Mercury likes to move fast. Think of Hermes, think of maybe Apollo, think of, you know, a quick moving messenger. Maybe a messenger between the sun and the earth. Let's say the sun and your body, your mental body and your crown chakra, right? Or it could be your spirit guides in you. It's very mercurial. It's very the mind. It's very spirit messages. So Mercury kind of runs around and kind of does that work for us, right? As an archetype. With Mercury and Leo, you know how I always like to talk about Leo is the stargate. Leo is our heart chakra. We are integrating so many codes. And I feel like this zodiac wheel, or you can say this year, or however you view that, in this wheel of the year, let's say in this cycle, right? It's really huge because I don't know why Spirit is drawing me to the fact that Last time, as we were progressing into July, more toward the end of July, we were sorry guys, I just realized that I didn't turn off my notifications. Distractions. This time last year, or around this time, right? We were working through Black Moon Lilith in Leo energy, and it was this whole message of like, your shadow, your dark goddess, this dark archetype who helps you, I'll be the villain if I need to, I'll be the big bad monster. I'll embody whatever is the case so that we can go in this dark cave to save this inner child. We were working with this message around this time last year. And now we're in this powerful, it's an 8-year. It's ruled by the strength card, and that is Leo energy. We are moving into Leo season, which is also oftentimes associated with the sun. You guys know the sun has been massively active this year, whether you want to look at the rebirth of a new sun, like as far as cycles go. I think those are numbered. Is it like 26 or something? Don't quote me, because I love to read about it, but that's something that's newer knowledge for me to work with. But Schumann resonance, sun energy, there's so many different reasons. Sorry, you guys. No bark. Molly, no bark. So essentially, I'm going to try to go on with the message, you guys. Hopefully it's not too distracting and she'll kind of settle down. She is a labradoodle. So somebody should have told me about the lab energy. It's like you hear about labs all the time, golden retriever labs, and you're like, oh, but then you don't know until you know what their energy is really like. They're so adorable, but it's like very like needy. Center of It's funny. Spirit was like, well, we're talking about Leos. I feel like if a lab had to be anything, it would be a Leo. But look, let me just, I digress, right? It's been really fun, but quite interesting experience. So yeah, let me refocus. I think it's like we've been doing preparatory work. And I know we can circle back to different cycles, patterns, and messages to see that very clearly. Is that our hearts are being prepared to be busted even more open. And that is to integrate codes that are already there. That is to circulate new energy through your chakra system. That is to, Spirit is saying, help you understand how to utilize the Kundalini rising. I'm seeing this image of like a phoenix, like flying up out of a volcano. So I don't know if maybe some of us have, dude, I just realized, I glanced at these and I knew it was major arcana, but I just realized the strength card is in the middle. Look at that. The Empress's strength card in the wheel. Wow. Because I feel like we have to stay focused on this emotional body, on this purge, on this grief, on this clearing. Remember, I think I made a post, but I may have also mentioned it in a collective video. We were talking about how when you cry, it's this idea that you are giving libations out. Native Americans spoke about it, but it's not only that. It's many different people. I want to lay these out so we can see them all, but I'll take that. I'll take that. Can we zoom in on it? Oh yeah, that's nice. Look, I like that. Okay. Our tears, our grief, our Spirit is saying it like this. That's part of our working the alchemy of our own waters. Sometimes we just want to skip past feeling the heavy emotions, and especially today, I think there's a lot of mental health that comes to the forefront. There's a lot of being aware of your own trauma, doing your own personal work, really. I mean, if you get down into the psychology of it, I think that's great. You know how I feel. Quantum physics, the environment, science, my own personal environmental science degree. Like, there's so many different angles. It all ties up in the quantum. It all connects spiritually. So, you know how I feel about that. But there's this thing of like, you can no longer avoid these elephants in the room. And we can even draw that out and bring it back to not only Venus and learning your own self-worth, learning your own value so that you can reprogram a lot of things, which again, Jupiter and Gemini is helping us amplify that wisdom from our mental body all the way down and through our entire body. But you can back that out too, to once again, that y'all, once again, there's my Appalachian, okay? What is it, y'all? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? That's us. That's us down here, all right? But we can draw it back to Saturn and Neptune. It just can't. It can't be stressed enough, you guys. It's gonna come up until the movement is complete because it's so huge. Saturn completing its orbit after 30 plus years in Pisces. Neptune completing its orbit after 165 plus years in Pisces. And they're both retrograde. No, they're not completing them this year, but I'm saying we are knee deep. Spirit said we more than knee deep now. We like waist deep, going to the neck deep in the veils that need to fall. I'm seeing scales falling off eyes. What is it? We're in the thick of it. That's what I'm hearing. We're in the thick of it. Okay, so the Empress, the Strength card, and the Wheel of Fortune. This very much feels like an energy of being strong and practicing balance. Because although we are very highly favored and blessed, we are divine sovereign beings. We're literally spirit dancing in these human forms. We're capable of birthing anything, right? But the Wheel of Fortune, yes, it is kind of a fortuitous card to see. This is a beautiful combination of energy. But I think Mercury in Leo message is kind of like, take heart. We're birthing new earth. We're birthing new worlds. We're birthing new tiers of vibrational frequency for a human to it's very we're getting ready to dig into birthing a golden age, but we got to keep rolling up our sleeves because there's a lot of work to do. And people are like, well, how do you do that work? Well, it depends on what dimensionality Spirit is saying that you're talking about doing work. There's a physical body of work to be done. There's a mental, there's a spiritual, there's you and other dimensions, etc. We all have different paths and healing journeys and where we're at as far as which we are experiencing. And then, of course, because we're in these human bodies, which is a blessing. We signed up for this in this incarnation, okay? We also have we do have a very physicality type of experience of this as well. Which Spirit is saying, don't miss how spiritual that part really is. But there's this energy as well with seeing the Wheel of Fortune. Spirit is wanting me to highlight, my guides are wanting me to highlight from 0 to 10 and 10 to 20, because it's 2, 8, and then 10. It's we've come so far, but don't forget we've got to go 10 to 22. Not 22, I'm sorry. We also have to go 10 to 20. Let's phrase it that way. So part of this huge... Now, listen, this is going to pan out the rest of the year into the entire year of 2025. So, yeah, it's almost okay, I'm sorry, I'm just listening. It's almost like we want to close the door on things very quickly. Excuse me, we kind of want a neat and tidy, I'm seeing cord cutting candles and someone's watching it and hoping it will burn very neat and tidy. But it's oh my gosh, these messy candles are dripping wax everywhere. This is not neat. And it's just not. Now, oftentimes, remember how we kept talking about we're going to work our way towards that full moon in Capricorn. It will be at an anaretic degree. It's at that last point. And Capricorn is really helping us. You know what? This group of contracts over here, hear me out. They're so complete. They're beyond complete. We've got to, they've been tossed in the fire. And at this point, Spirit is showing me someone standing in front of a fire, leaned, very moody, staring into the fire. And it's you can't keep you can't keep staring at those contracts. In fact, they're not even attached to you anymore at all. You've already burned them as well. Now, for some people, you will find yourself in a place where you're getting up the nerve to throw a bunch of things on the fire as well, right? And maybe, you know what, because progressing towards Leo season is that fixed fire, right? But right now, maybe for some, yes, like Mercury and Leo right now is maybe kind of the dawning of ideas or the dawning of spirit messages of realizing, all right, you know what? I've already let this go. It's like finding out, okay, why am I seeing like a lawyer? Sorry, guys. Why am I seeing like a lawyer sitting at the table with you? Because you're really pregnant with some things, but some things have to be completed out before you can go forth and kind of like start the new thing or receive the new blessing. Or all right, so it says here that doop stipulations have to be met for you to get this inheritance. It's very, and that's very Capricorn ruled, Saturn. That's very Saturnian, very Capricorn, Earth sign. Did you earn this? Have you met the qualifications? Be that spiritually, emotionally, maybe physically too. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely, I love to see a confirmation on the table of the strength card appearing up. It's like reminding us, don't forget you are in that Leo ruled year of the number 8. It is very magnetic. This is also reminding me of how we're in, like, we've kind of officially entered the portal of the Sirius energy and the Stargate and the Dog Star and everything, which will heighten the more closer and closer and closer we get to Leo season than officially go into it. And in that season, there's very high sun energy days. It's very magnetic. And it's almost like we got to clean out. It's still this energy of like, we've got to wash out. We've got to wash out. It's like cleaning a home to prepare for a birth with the Empress here, and you're still pushing and you're still working hard. And it's that in Cancer season, again, with so many big placements in water. Would I still call it a water stellium right now? I don't think so, because we've kind of had things that are getting close to, technically we still have Venus in Cancer. We still have, technically you could say like literally until tomorrow. We're still, purging, grieving. And then the remainder of Cancer season, even though some of these Venus will begin to move in Leo. Mercury has already moved into Leo. Who else is going to move soon into Leo? But we will see that energy. And it's almost like things moving into Leo while we're still in Cancer season, right? It's like getting checked at the door to make sure did you do your grief work on this? Did you sit with Spirit Beyond the Veil on this? It's like, have you really done the emotional body of shadow work on this before you check your bags at the door and you go and it's like, oh, Leo season, and you celebrate the high holy days of the sun, woo. And it's like, I'm so ready to magnetize things. But Spirit's like, you've got to, the Spirit is showing me like, you've got to check your bags, because some of this stuff we haven't properly grieved, released, transmuted. We are still kind of, 12 more days, 11 more days of Cancer season. We still got to kind of wash it out. I don't know. That's just how I see it. Wash it out, And for sure, peeking over to this full moon in Capricorn energy, it will be that same echo of you got to leave this here, right? And it's really tough, just a reminder too that the North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, these relationships, how, I am, it's like me versus we, I am, and then, this is what I need and this is what they need of me, and my spiritual mission, my forerunning inspiration, everything I'm receiving through my crown, all of these light codes, all of this integration of energy I've been working with. Now I have to look at, especially, I will say, especially with South Node in Libra, I would encourage you to evaluate relationships. Absolutely. Because really the toxicity, the codependency, I heard somebody make a reference to, and in Cancer season, it could be that you're finding things, sorry guys, around your family. And maybe if not like your immediate family, it could definitely be like my familial line. Or what was this quote? One teacher that I really loved to death, she was saying something about, I escaped my narcissistic family cult or something. I mean, it's hard. It's hard when you realize, like, hey, you know what? My family is, or maybe even members of my family or whatever. That's not everyone's story, but I think it's really applicable to a lot of people, or else I wouldn't be here to, as that being a part of my own story. You know, I wouldn't resonate with you guys if we didn't have a lot in common. But I'm saying we're evaluating relationships, especially right now in Cancer season. Maybe you're recovering yourself from family trauma, or maybe there are just ancestral lineage of karma, ancestral, maybe we say baggage, or just things that we are processing, you know, that our ancestors just weren't able to for whatever reason. You may also find yourself there. So these are a lot of things. Maybe we have to, it's like the whole wash it out, let it go. This can't pass on with you, because we want the wheel to turn, you know? We want the wheel to turn so that we can continue to be fruitful in our journey. It's like you don't want to get stuck at the wheel and then whoop, it's almost like you didn't get enough momentum in the slingshot. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times what happens when you think about a wheel falling back in the wrong direction, scientifically what's going on is there's too much force pulling it this way when really it wants to carry that kinetic motion forward. So I feel you. I feel you if this week you are still moving very slowly. Please honor that. If you're still just really purging a shit ton of emotions, please honor that. Because, like, if we don't cry that shit out, if we don't put down our libations, so to speak, we can't, like, turn the wheel. Spirit is saying to me with the Empress, you know, she knows how to take good care of herself as much as she takes good care of and births and nurtures and provides for everyone else. But what happens when you're pushing a baby? You might be screaming and crying. You may even bleed a little bit. Somebody said, listen, I'm trying to keep it nice for the, okay, we're not going to be like, a little bit. No, listen. Let's say you may bleed, you may sweat, you may cry. Ooh, you're about to... Spirit is welling up inside me. It's like you're about to offer those libations. And again, this can be, we're repeating this word libations, which has been out in the collective a lot. And I love that for us because our ancestors, we honor our ancestors in this way. And sometimes you're like, my ritual is going to be very neat and pretty. And that sometimes is also me. Hello. Okay, I speak from my own experience. Sometimes we thought the ritual was going to be like, I'm going to sit this pretty glass of water down. Things are going to be on time. I'm going to be in control, which is an illusion. When really sometimes it's like, bitch, I didn't even get to light a candle. The ritual was I cried in the shower like all week. But that's a ritual too. You get what I'm saying? Cancer season is very familial, very ancestral, very connection to my mother line, Spirit is saying. But also Capricorn is still very familial, very traditional, very Saturnian. So we've got patriarchal and matriarchal lineage here. It is very ancestral right now. I've talked about that before. I made this oil offering at an event called the Ancestors Offering. Because, and then especially with Saturn, Lord of Karma and Time, about to complete his orbit journey, Neptune out here, talk about getting beyond the veil. Our ancestors are very close because there's so many things. Again, that whole, you've got to get this. We want you to get this. And what happens sometimes you're birthing, it's like they're holding you while you're pushing out a baby. Is that the business? Is that the degree? Is that the career move? Maybe it's you're the new baby you're like pushing out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a creative idea. Maybe it's a whole, I'm fucking mourning a whole ass story chapter page of my life heavily. And I just feel like, I don't know, I'm rebirthing my whole life. And that's very age of Aquarius right now. Listen, that's very Pluto and Aquarius retrograde as well. And Pluto's here. Pluto's like, what am I seeing? Like a hockey goon, y'all. If you know, you know. A hockey dude out there just boop, just goon checking. Pluto and Aquarius is like, can't sit here, just checking shit out of your field because it's got to go. Pluto pinball. We've already talked about it, right? But I do love the trines. I do love the Venus energy. It's like you coming back, doing your breath work, returning to a rooted and grounded, like a centered heart space, and saying, it's like being reminded while you're trying to push that baby out that you need to do your breath work, that you need to be present in this moment, that every tear, every drop of blood, every scream, I don't know, I'm hearing gnashing of teeth. These are all libations for the ancestors. And this energy given in balance, this animal energy is balancing. It's like this very intense birth, but it's like whoosh, a release, and then the wheels like start spinning forward very fast. And again, that leap year energy is here. Oh, okay. You gave us one big last, you know how they're always like, what? You got one last push. And you're like, how can I don't have it in me? And then whoosh. Why am it, Spirit is bringing me back to that phrase again. We got to throw all the babies out with the bathwater. If that's the case, we don't want any blockage in the way of this birth, right? And let me remind you that however it's manifesting physically on your timeline right now, it always starts spiritually, as above, so below, as within, so without. So if it is a career move, if it is I'm about to move to a whole nother country, a whole nother state, whatever the case is, if it is I'm about to start a whole new creative business or take a huge creative leap of faith, that started in the spiritual. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Mercury and Leo, and now I'm seeing Mercury and Leo and Jupiter and Gemini working together in the crown, in the third eye, you know, again, in the mental body. And I'm hearing fascia again being very important. I'm hearing just that whole quantumness of like fascia, however you say that, fascia, some people say, right? Fascia down here in the South. Fascia, right? I'm hearing, yeah, just the entire nervous system, just the entire emotional body as well. Nervous system and emotional body working hand in hand like a very quantum system. So feel free to put a pin note in either one of those and kind of check those out and see how you connect with that. But I love these powerful cards for us. I love this energy for us. And I'm not going to call it easy energy, but it's fortuitous. It's powerful. It's absolute total like rebirth. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that concept or that whole life change or that whole move or that whole rebirth was in me. Shout out there if you're actually about to push out a baby, because these cards would say that is going to be a beautiful event. Obviously, why wouldn't it be? But yeah, you guys just find your center, do your breath work. Again, we come back to that. So I'm going to leave it here, you guys. I love and appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to checking in with you later this week. All right, take good care. Bye.